Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stay Hydrated with me, Lizzie Hall. And can you believe it? No Christopher Hall in the intro this week. Why? He's in Edinburgh doing his work in progress, or as they like to call it in the biz, his whip, 7:15 at Patter House, if you haven't already got your tickets. Yeah, he's gone. It kind of feels like, to be honest, half my ecosystem has left and gone to Edinburgh, including my lovely girlfriend Lee, whose show Rotus you can catch at 3:40 at Patter House. Also at Patter House. Oh my God, you could do some kind of, I don't know, iconic and gorgeous double blockbuster hit. But of course, that's up to you. As you can tell, I've been left in charge of the intro this week. I feel okay about it. I feel good about it. I've had a couple of nervous texts from Christopher. So that maybe just lets you know how he feels about it. But overall, he seems good. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just wanted to take this moment to really connect. And so therefore, here is a full and complete read-through of Twilight, the novel. Chapter 1, First Sight. My mother drove me to the airport with the windows rolled down. It was 75 degrees in Phoenix. The sky up. I'm just kidding. But actually, wouldn't that be iconic? Would that be amazing? Are people into that? Could we be into that? I kind of love that. We could just start exclusively with the Twilight. So anyway, look, we'll talk about it. I actually have a Twilight tattoo, but we literally don't have time. What I will say is Twilight is something I always lean into when I need some me time, some love, some self-love, a self-help moment. And that is what our guest this week is all about. Seamless segue. Anyway, we were so lucky to be joined by this fabulous guest before she goes off on tour next month. And she is on the road until November, September through November in England, North and South, Wales, Scotland. Grab your tickets while you can. I have seen her perform in Edinburgh a couple years ago, and honestly, it was incredible. So funny, so smart, so quick. You'll love it. And hopefully this week's podcast episode just gives you a little dash, a little taste of what you can expect on tour. This week we chat self-help, confidence, which was perfect, just in time for me to be all on my own, navigating this solo intro moment and the mean streets of London all by myself. But anyway, it's not about me. Please, oh my God, I almost said, please put your hands together for our next guest. There, we can't hear each other clap, but maybe we could do that anyway. Okay, we're clapping. Okay, fun, silly, cute. Okay, please put your hands together and welcome to the podcast, actress, singer, and empath, Myra Dubois. Woo! Woo! First thing in the morning, tired and yawning, what you gonna do?
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Stay Hydrated with my sister Elizabeth Hall.
And my brother Christopher Hall.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here, and a huge welcome to our guest today, the fabulous Myra Dubois is in the house.
Hello. How wonderful to receive no applause on that whatsoever. We were pretending the people behind the cameras aren't here. Is that the format?
The people in the there's no one else here.
No,
it's just
it's
us.
minimal, isn't it?
It's just us in this white
like
box.
The set. I can see why I had to be here in person for it.
Yeah. Because we couldn't have just been here.
Oh no, we
zooming
couldn't.
you.
This couldn't have been a Zoom. No, you needed the tangible experience of this.
Yeah. The white walls.
The white
It's
wall.
lovely.
The water. We've got a little flight case for you.
With a small Johnson sticker on it. Other baby powder is available. I don't want to interfere with sponsorships.
Yeah.
Now, why is there a Johnson sticker on the flight case?
That's the mystery that we
is a
need to work
mystery.
out.
Oh, it's a little
over the
early
next
in
hour.
this for philosophy, isn't it?
It's a gift for you.
Is it? The whole flight case or just the sticker?
Whatever you'd like.
Either or.
You don't know, do you? You don't have an answer for these
We-
questions
no.
I'm asking.
No.
Oh, it's going to be a long hour.
Yeah.
go on, anyway.
How are you? You've been in London this weekend?
I am in London for this weekend. Yes, I've been doing shows, around the capital. And I woke up today and very early because I'm staying in a hotel, and you have to be if you want any chance of breakfast.
Yes.
Because they take away that privilege as soon as the first bird sings at dawn, don't they?
They do.
So I had to run downstairs to the breakfast buffet. Also, it's important as well to get your bacon before anyone else has fingered it, I always think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was up very early. I've done an interview with an Irish radio station called Celebrity Hits.
Okay.
So you're the second, but the first in-person one of the day.
Thank goodness.
But that's not interesting for anyone to listen to, is it? What have I done that's interesting? I got a taxi here to this very bougie bit of King's Cross, as we've discovered now.
Yeah, it's really glittering.
Dare I use the word? I might say that outside is a piazza.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a piazza.
It is.
Yes.
It's a piazza with coffee and croissants and other C words. And
A string quartet sometimes.
string quartet?
Yeah.
Goodness
Just
me.
serenading you.
Oh, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always think there's something a bit grim about a string quartet, and I think it's because of the Titanic. Both the film and the tragedy. Because, well, that's what played as it sank, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
It
because
is.
of that, I think it's a little weird that people have them at weddings. Because I think they sound like the last who are present at a catastrophe.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
that's just the lingering vibe I get from a string quartet. And that's not what I want on a piazza when I'm having my coffee.
No.
No,
Never.
especially not if it's a nice latte or those ice cubes jangling about. It'd be quite meta, wouldn't it?
It would
Titanic
be.
considered.
It would
Very.
be.
No spoilers if you've not seen the film.
What would you see as opposed to a string quartet? What would you prefer at a wedding?
I like a brass band because I'm from Yorkshire
Yeah.
and we had all those colliery bands and everything. I don't know if you've ever seen Brastoff. Have you seen Brastoff?
A long time ago, yes.
It's not as funny as the poster. It's a bit of a Muriel's Wedding sort of a film where
Okay.
you think to yourself, this is going to be a heartwarming, uplifting comedy, and then 2/3 of the way through, a clown hangs himself.
Yeah.
So don't watch
Okay.
it if you want a bit of uplifting. Anyway, that's why I like a brass band, because they make me think of hanging clowns. Oh God, I don't like brass bands.
Well,
What would you have at a wedding, Chris?
I think a DJ is good, but a DJ that listens to the room.
Yeah, but that's afterwards.
Later.
I'm talking about the ceremony. You're walking down the aisle, what would you have? You can't have a string quartet because that makes us think of the Titanic.
Can't have a
and
brass
you can't
band.
have a brass band because that makes us think of clowns that have unalived themselves, to use internet
That was
parlance.
very
Yeah.
PC.
Well, I'm very youthful, you see.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
In
you'll get
touch.
an influx of Gen Zs listening to this
Yeah.
now I'm on.
Thank goodness.
Well, if we can't have string, we can't have brass. Could we have like kind of a percussive quartet?
You can have whatever you want, though.
Yeah, just sort of bringing some.
It's your wedding, my love. You
Yeah.
get whatever you want. Do it quick, though, because you might not be able to this time next year.
Oh, no,
With
yeah.
the way the political winds
I
are
know.
blowing.
Yeah, we better get them in now.
Yeah, you make that decision quick. What about you, my love? What would you have at your wedding?
I'm wondering between two things.
Mm-hmm.
An acoustic guitar, just sort of
Oh, how Spanish.
yeah, just sort of or sort of like a Phoebe from Friends steel pan kind of situation. But I think
Yeah.
Steel
like,
pan, which of course is the indigenous instrument to Phoebe from Friends.
as soon
Yes.
as I said it, I went like, oh.
Yes. No, it's all right. One of us has already been politically correct enough for us to
Exactly.
coast to the end of the
That's true.
interview.
That's true.
Say what you like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything now.
Maybe a steel pan.
steel
But
pan.
no,
They do sound beautiful.
they do. I think my first choice would be just a simple acoustic guitar. You know,
with a vocalist.
I don't think so.
No, you don't want to, because a vocalist, as you're walking down the aisle, it should be backing music, and a vocalist imposes another human presence over your moment, I think.
I
Yes.
think so too.
It'd be like someone else wearing white to your wedding, wouldn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And what season do you think you'd get married in? Because that could affect the choice of instrument.
I quite like an autumn wedding.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Weather you're going to get in autumn, aren't you?
Yeah.
Autumn weather.
It's true.
Exactly
Could go
that.
either way in the summer.
It's true.
And also summer weddings when they're too hot, it can be a huge kind of factor on the day. People getting dehydrated. I went to a wedding in summer and the groom fainted in the ceremony.
And is that where your concern for hydration began?
Exactly there.
Considering the title of this podcast.
Exactly there, because he'd only had about 3 pints.
Yeah.
In the
and
morning
you watched
and a
that
couple of
person
coffees.
fall down at their wedding,
Yeah.
the biggest day of their life. They collapsed in front of all their loved ones, and
Yeah.
you thought, I should do a podcast
About this.
about this.
Raising awareness
Raising
about
awareness for
keeping-
hydration.
Exactly.
All right, lovely.
Have you ever been married?
No, never. People have. Do you know much about the sexuality spectrum? I'm asking this to both of you.
Yes.
A little
you
bit.
do?
Yeah.
Well, for a long time, I thought I was asexual.
Okay.
Which is someone who doesn't feel the urges, the juices, the drives of sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realised I was sapiosexual, which
Okay.
means I'm attracted to great intellect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you look around at the general population, you can understand why I thought I was ace.
Exactly.
There are not many people to be attracted to. So that's from my end of the bargain. On
Interesting.
the other end of the bargain, when people meet me, they have a little bit of uncanny valley. They don't know if they're watching telly or not, because I didn't want to drop this early into the podcast, but I have been on Pointless Celebrities with Leslie Joseph.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm on a date, people will think, have I got ITV on? And
Yeah.
it throws them.
And
Right.
they're not comfortable. They're not being
comfortable,
themselves.
They're
yeah.
not comfortable. And in some ways, I think I am married, but to my public. Because that's where the name Dubois comes from. Because you see, Dubois, that's not on my birth certificate. That's Prescott. That was
Okay.
the birth name. Dubois was a name I took when I married show business. You
Interesting.
See. You take a name, don't
Okay.
you? And I took Dubois because I thought it would look better on a marquee. Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get the name from nowhere. I got it because my grandmother's second husband, he was Dubois. He was in the French Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the Yorkshire Resistance. What she was resisting, we don't know, but she was a difficult woman. So I took the name Dubois and to enter show business. And I like to think of show business as my spouse and the public as my child.
Yeah, that's
That's
lovely.
beautiful.
Maybe not one I'd have kept a full term. But, it's been done now. It's here. We raise it. We love it. We look after it. And I wish it
Exactly.
well in its adult life.
Exactly. A complex relationship, if ever there was one. And King's Cross is now posh, and you were saying Vauxhall's now quite posh. Posh hotels in Vauxhall.
Yes, there's a posh hotel in Vauxhall, and I stayed in it because they're getting rid of all of the things that were a little bit about Vauxhall because the American embassy moved in.
Yes.
So they've taken all the sex clubs out of the railway arches. They've moved the ancient Roman ruins that used to be in one of the arches, and now it's all quite bougie.
Very, very bougie.
Yeah.
Because how early you got up for breakfast was maybe an interesting symbolism of how early people used to still be walking around the streets.
Well, I mean, yes, that's true. I have been awake at that time in Vauxhall before, but for different purposes and another direction.
Yes.
I was also going to ask, did the breakfast buffet match up to the poshness of the hotel? Was it
It
good?
did.
Yeah?
I won't eat at just any breakfast buffet.
No.
In fact, sometimes when I'm on tour, I will be on tour later this year, by the way. We could mention that, couldn't we? But when I'm on tour, we stay in hotels all around the country, and sometimes I think, do you know what? I'll starve.
Yeah.
Because and do you know where this happens? It is true that the hotels in bigger cities have better breakfasts. And that's not me being part of the metropolis elite. No, metropolitan elite. No. What it is there's more people. You have to cook more food.
Right.
Don't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
a bigger influx of people. If you go to a fast food restaurant in a busy city, your food will be hot.
Yeah.
If you go to a high street in a town centre, no, it'll be cold.
Yeah.
That's because you have to cook more food, so there's a bigger turnover. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, that is very true. I had a really good breakfast buffet not that long ago
Where?
in Cardiff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And there was sort of herb roasted potatoes,
Yes,
bacon,
we
beans,
had some of those, yeah.
little things of smoothies. And I thought, wow, this was worth it.
Yeah.
But you're
always-
right.
No,
Sometimes
it's good when the
it's-
fruit is on some ice cubes.
Exactly.
Really,
And
really
next
good.
to the yogurt.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I love the towers of cereal. You know, when the cereal's in like tubes, and you can kind of like turn a little handle, and then it gives you a portion of cereal in the. I think it's just displayed wonderfully.
Have you ever watched television?
Yes.
I think you should watch more of it.
Do you think?
I think so. I think you're understimulated.
I can tell you I'm incredibly overstimulated,
Are
and I'm
you?
trying to.
Is that what this minimal
I'm
surrounding is
trying
about?
to.
Oh, well,
bring
I
the-
feel terrible
the
for
stimulating down.
criticising the decor. I didn't know it was an accessibility issue.
But that just makes me smile when I come down to breakfast at a hotel, because you'd never do that at home.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
So you mentioned you're going on tour.
Oh, don't bring it up. I don't want to be such flagrantly self-promotional. Yes, we will be on tour around the UK and Ireland. We're doing Dublin. That's the And Ireland date.
Amazing.
We're doing the UK and Ireland from September through to November. We're going to every city you can imagine. But not everyone, actually. Have you ever toured?
Yes.
Yes. Do you get people commenting on your social media going, why aren't you going to this particular arts centre or theatre at the end of my street?
Yes.
And do you let those people know it's because you hate that town and them individually?
I do.
I do as well, yeah.
I send a personalised video message.
Why aren't you going to Swindon? The answer's in the question, I always think. But
or what's equally frustrating is when you've just done a show in Swindon and then they say, when are you coming to Swindon?
Yes,
and
that is also annoying.
Oh, I was there yesterday.
Yes, it's very frustrating, because you know what I think the problem is? People think that the internet is for them. And I do blame algorithms for this. People think that the internet is for them and them alone.
Yeah.
And that they see all of the internet every day. I don't know if you ever spend any time with anyone that doesn't share your interests, but have a look at what their internet looks like.
Oh,
and
my
it's
God.
all like football and things
Yeah.
like that. That's why it's wonderful when everyone says like, oh, the internet is full of pornography. It's all half-naked women writhing around trying to sell you things. You're like, yeah, for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's very different.
Yeah, well, you know. And so, anyway, so, we're going on tour and we're going around the UK to most places we can get to, but people don't journey anymore either. Well, I remember when I used to go to gigs before I was the gig, I used to, if someone was going near me, I'd go and see them. So I grew up in Rotherham, South Yorkshire, and sometimes people would go to Leeds. So do you know what you'd do? You'd go to Leeds.
Get on a train.
But now everyone think everything is so bespoke for them and you've got to go to them. I'm not selling myself. I should be endearing myself. And that's lovely. I like everyone. So where do we start? I think we start in Bath.
Lovely.
Oh.
Bath, lovely Bath. Bath.
Bath, very
Bath,
posh.
or bathe, if you're very posh.
Yeah.
We're going to Bath for 2 days, and then we're going to the Hackney Empire.
Big
Amazing.
theatre. How fabulous.
Well, it might feel so to some people. It's a bit pokey for me.
Yeah.
But we're going to the...
Big for me.
Yeah. We're going to the Hackney Empire. That's lovely. And some other places. We are actually not going to Swindon, and I've mentioned it twice, and now I feel I've got to adjust people's expectations.
But the people of Swindon could travel to Bath.
They could, and they could thank me for giving them a reason to leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite frankly.
I saw you in Edinburgh.
Oh, yes.
And
What year?
I saw you. It was 2 years ago.
Okay, no, that was a good one.
And you did Late and Live. Were you there? Oh, but were you? Did you see that? Yeah, did you see Late and Live? And Late and Live, for people who haven't been, is a late night mixed bill show. And it's very nervous as an audience member, only because everyone, for me anyway, maybe I'm just too nervous, have a nervous disposition. But you came out to a room of inebriated, a lot of young straight people, and completely tore them a new one and absolutely demolished the whole room. It was amazing.
I think that's a cruel accusation.
Yeah.
If we had a television screen here or anything at all, I would point to it and we'd replay that gig, and I think you would find out that what I did was offer them advice.
You did. You offered them advice.
I gave them space for growth, is how I'd phrase it.
That's fair.
But you see, the thing is, I come from a tradition of pubs and clubs. Like, my first gigs were playing to inebriated people.
Yeah.
I have been on stage at 1 o'clock in the morning in a dive bar in Birmingham or Cardiff or, Southampton. And I've had to get the attention and hold the attention of very rowdy audiences. So for me, it's sort of second nature. I have built up that muscle. Mm-hmm. And I had the opposite problem when I started doing theatre tours like I'm doing in the autumn. When I started doing theatre tours, I had the opposite problem, is I would come on stage to a seated room who were all sat quietly ready for the show, and I'd go too hard at them.
Interesting.
Because I'd be like, yeah! And they'd be like, oh, yeah. Because I'm used to, like, having to go and get in an audience's attention with whipping a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So late in life, for me, it was just like a gig. It was sort of second nature. And it fascinates me that comedians, performers, anyone, get nervous. and not judgmentally. Your physicality, you're leaning away from me as I'm talking about. This is fascinating. What a study in human body language. You're fiddling with your arm. You've got yourselves crossed. Look at you. You're cutting yourselves off for me. Oh, stop being so self-conscious. Look at them. No, it fascinates me because to do comedy or stand-up or anything, you have to have a kernel within yourself that goes, I think a room should look at me. And then to be nervous when the room looks at you, I just think it's an interesting dynamic.
True.
But and I mean interesting. There's no judgment in it. And sometimes I get nervous as well. I don't tend to get nervous I get nervous when it's unfamiliar terrain.
Yeah.
So like the first time I ever did any kind of television at all, I got very nervous in a studio setting. Yeah. Because you have nothing to go off.
Right.
You know, right at the beginning of this where I was like, you welcomed me and there was no applause. And I was like, well, it's weird because there are people here. That one's on his phone.
Yeah.
What are you looking at on your phone in the middle of this podcast with your ears? This could be not recording and you wouldn't have a sodding clue. Is that not your job? What's your job? What are you doing? Who's that person?
We actually don't know.
There is someone there, I promise you. Well, and so you have these instincts. And so, because that was a different environment for me. Still on the phone, I checked.
Outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. I shall be tweeting this. Not that anyone would read it. It's a dead platform. Anyway, so if it's a new environment, I'll get nervous.
Yeah.
And first time I ever did any film acting, I said the first time. It was the only time to date. Yeah. But, you know, you never know. I want this to... I don't
so far.
The first, well, I just don't want this footage to date. You know, I want people to watch this in a decade and it's still to ring true.
Absolutely.
So when I first did a bit of film work, that was very weird because I was in a film studio. There were cameras rolling. There were people, you know, doing jobs and everything and fiddling with you and putting things, making sure that your dressing gown was exactly where it was in the last shot, blah, blah, blah. Richard E. Grant was there, who is a very famous actor. But we were also in a working men's club in Sheffield. Yeah. So I had this weird dissonance where it was an entirely new environment for me, and I was very nervous. But also, I've been in more working men clubs than I can count, you know? So it was both new and familiar. So in those scenarios, I'll get... But it is weird to me that comedians get nervous. Because it's very common.
Yeah.
Comedians are a very anxious group of people. I've been diagnosed as hyperneurotypical. I'm like extra normal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's why I've got laser vision that can pierce through things, you see. Yeah. Because I'm hyperneurotypical.
I mean, you read us, our body language, our energy straight away.
Straight away, you're mirroring each other as well.
Yeah.
You are.
Well,
I wonder as a thought experiment if you would, and we'll not do it now because we'd have to reset the cameras, but I wonder if for the thought experiment, whether your body language would do that if the chairs were back to back. I wonder whether you mirror each other in person or whether you've just synced as siblings.
I think I've spent quite a lot of my time copying Christopher because he's also 7 years older than me. So for a long time he was like, sorry, aging Chris publicly.
Oh, hang on, sorry.
No, yeah.
Is he? Oh, goodness me. You know where to cut that, don't you?
When I was like 11 and he was like 18, I just copied everything he did and thought he was the funniest person. So I think I'm doing a weird thing of trying to sync myself to him subconsciously.
Did you notice that self-deprecation because Chris couldn't handle a compliment? Chris must have thought at one point, I am very funny. Otherwise, Chris wouldn't have entered comedy. And yet someone says it and Chris has to deflect it. That's interesting, isn't it?
It is interesting.
Isn't it? And I'm not looking at Chris because this is our moment and I want Chris to squirm.
Yeah. And Chris actually is very self-deprecating for someone who's very funny and knows he's very funny.
So why do you think that is, Chris?
I can imagine it. I'm not sure. It's probably maybe a Catholic upbringing. Maybe growing up different at school, it's easier to
Which one do you think is first? The Catholicism? Are you Catholics?
We were.
Not anymore.
No, so you're lapsed Catholic.
Yes.
Lapsed Catholic.
And at what age did we abandon Catholicism?
Teenager.
Yeah. So you grew up Catholic children. So I'm assuming that wasn't in any conflict with anything for a few years. Because you must have been like, we're Catholics, this is good, we understand the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was the first point of contradiction of that for you? What was the first point that something in you went, hang on, in regards to the Catholicism?
Probably realizing I was gay.
And what age was that?
I probably had the vocabulary and the understanding maybe about 13, 14.
I see.
But probably younger, I figured something was a bit odd.
And do you think prior to that, when you were the child that was just the Catholic, do you think you'd have been self-deprecating then?
I think I've always had an air of that. I think to fit in, younger, maybe knowing that wasn't like everyone else in the class, to almost fit in, you almost I found that you sort of self-deprecate before anyone else can.
Right. So it's a survival thing.
Yeah, survival thing.
I see. And when did you experience this? Now, I'm sorry if this is impersonal, but do you consider yourself within the acronym?
I do.
You do? Which letter of the acronym?
L.
L?
Yeah.
Oh, your poor parents. Is there a third sibling? Is there any hope?
There is,
Oh,
yes.
thank God. Is that one fertile? Oh, God. So don't worry, we're crushing no one's dreams having this conversation.
No. Yeah.
And what age was that for you then?
Probably about 13,
But
14.
you don't strike me as self-deprecating. Then again, you have put yourself on settle fiddle to Chris. You said you've always looked up to Chris. You said you
That's
mirror
true.
Chris. See, the offering I made was that maybe you've synced to siblings, but you immediately said, no, I copy him.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating... Thanks for joining my podcast,
Yeah,
by the
thank
way.
God you're here.
Yeah. I'm going
get
to
some
bill
depth.
you after this.
Yeah.
Well, that's just interesting to me. And I can't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about, that's it, comedians and why they're nervous.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you saw me at Leighton Live, and I bet you're glad you brought it up.
It's quite what a story we've woven.
It's
since
always
then.
see. I always think it's worth just exploring things, and
Yeah.
this is. You see, people do say at my shows like, "Oh, she picks on the audience. She picks on the audience," and I don't. I explore, and that sounds like a flippant line, but I really don't. I'll ask a couple of questions to get the conversational ball rolling. Usually the classics.
Yeah.
Who are you here with? What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Where have you come from today? And some people say that that's quite hack, you know. And there's a lot of discussion on comedy, socials, TikTok, Instagram, that kind of thing. They're the main two that I operate on.
Yeah,
TikTok and Facebook, but I forget it's there.
same.
Comedians say that this is quite hacky. And they're like, oh,
Right.
another crowd work video going out, another crowd work. And I think it's only hacky if you're not very good at it. So I think comedians going, oh, crowd work is so hacky. They're going like, I think maybe you've just discovered a bit of a blind spot in your skill set. And that's all right.
Yeah.
Because conversationally, I will say to an audience member, we'll start with, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And they will say, I'm a bricklayer. And I'll say, that's interesting. What called you to bricklaying? What series of events led to bricklaying? And they'll give you a piece of information, and something in that will strike you as interesting. And like with you, I'll begin like, that's interesting, the way you said that. And we'll zone in on it. And then it shapes the show. And then what I always do is I keep that person in mind if it's been an interesting interaction. And I have to have my sensors going as well. So if someone looks uncomfortable, if someone looks like they don't want to be talked to, or if they don't want to offer information, you have to abandon it without letting the audience know that's what you've done.
Yes.
You need to move on so the audience just think, we've had that moment. Because if I go, you're uncomfortable, so I'm going to leave it there, that makes them even more self-aware. So you remember that person and that person and that, and then you do the show as you've written it and you've rehearsed it, and then every so often where you get an opportunity to go, you know, like your bricklaying Barbara, and then everyone roars with laughter because they've remembered something that they'd forgotten.
Yeah.
So that is what I like to do with people. I like to converse. I like my shows. I'll let you talk in a bit. I like my shows to be an opportunity for people to meet, because an audience becomes one organic thing, an organism for one evening that have all come to watch a show and have a laugh. And then they leave and they dissipate. They might never see each other again. But for that moment, they all learned about each other. And in an age... Oh, I'm getting deep now.
Yeah.
In an age where we're increasingly relying on social media and digital interactions, I think there's real power to meeting in a physical room. And this is lovely. I love doing things like this, meeting you two, talking to people. There'll be people watching this that'll go, oh, I'll go and see one of her shows when she's on tour in the autumn. But... But this should only supplement real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think. This is wonderful, but it shouldn't replace. And I think so many of us are just in our own little contained shoeboxes, logging on, commenting, then going to sleep. I don't know about you, but the first thing I often do is reach for my phone. I will tell myself I'm looking at the time. I'm telling myself, but I always open an app and scroll and look and I've done 15 minutes of scrolling before I've even gotten out of bed.
Yeah.
So I think
time just goes like that when you're scrolling.
It does. It just flies. So that's why I like talking to people, like we just did there, finding out about people.
And doing crowd work, you know, makes every show so unique. And, you know, getting something out of the audience and then calling back to that person, then, you know, you might get comments or messages being like, you know, loved the show last night, extra laugh at Sarah the bricklayer or whatever, you know, because that's people's unique experience to that show.
That's interesting. And do you know John Luke Roberts?
No.
Oh, so John Luke Roberts is a comedian and a director I've worked with on my shows. And when we were putting the shows together, John Luke Roberts was saying, you need moments that people remember. You need to put something in so they're like, oh, and when she sang Come Fly With Me on a tricycle, juggling those beer mats. Oh, we loved that bit. And what I found with my shows is the bits where you're talking to the audience is that bit.
Yeah.
And people do exactly that. They're like, we were there the night Sarah the bricklayer was there, you know? And they say, and what I do is, oh, do you know, I brought a present. And I think it's a good opportunity for me to do this because I have, let me rummage around in my handbag, these. Can you see what these are?
Badges.
These are betterment badges. It says, I've been healed by Myra Dubois on it. And I think after the session we've just had, you both deserve one.
I think we have
Absolutely.
been.
There you go.
Thank
So
you
people will
much.
see you wearing those in the street and they'll know that you're a little bit more sorted than other people. And so I give them to people in the audience that I interact with, and they've got a memento from that exchange. And then sometimes they photograph themselves wearing it and I get to share it on my stories, and people sort of... So really what I'm doing is cultivating like a little community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I love doing.
Yeah. And you heal a lot of people in your shows. As you said, you give advice. Are you going to give advice on this next tour as well?
Well, this tour, I'm breaking tradition, and actually, I'm going to make it about myself.
Nice.
Because I think I can't give any more. I've given and given and given. Quite frankly, I'm sore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take. So this time it's going to be about the last show, Be Well, was an exploration in, you know, giving advice, healing people, giving people opportunities to grow, meditating, reflecting. And this next one is exploring exactly where my powers of compassion come from. And I've got a theory. Aliens. I think there's a little bit of extraterrestrial involvement going on. I don't think I'm the first time this energy has been on this planet. If you ever go to the British Museum and look at all those stolen things, you might see a little painting or something on some piece of ancient Egyptian art. Have a close look, because every so often you'll see a profile that might be familiar.
Do you
I think so.
Absolutely.
I've looked at some cave paintings and seen myself. So, and I'm not saying I'm old, that I've been around forever. I just think I'm a vessel for an energy. I think I'm the current vessel for this energy.
Interesting.
Okay, and then you'll pass it on to someone else.
No, I think I'm where it ends.
Okay.
I
Once
don't
it's
think
reached
I'm going anywhere.
And it's reached its final form.
It's reached its final form.
The final
I think
evolution.
I'm the natural conclusion.
Right.
Do you have any advice that you could get? Obviously, your advice is very specific to the individual. Is there something maybe you could give to the listeners en masse?
I can tell you something I've learned in life.
Yes.
I've already talked about my grandmother. She passed away quite recently, which is sad. But she did die doing what she loved, hurling slurs at healthcare workers. But before she died, she looked at me. She said, Myra, you can skin a weasel, but it won't put jam on the toast. I don't know what she was on about.
No,
I
but
think it was the morphine. But there's a wisdom to northern women that makes everything sound profound. So you can do this. Northern wisdom. That's my advice. Come up with something like you can unroll the sock, but will the kettle boil?
Exactly.
And someone will look at you, and do you know what? Because of the human mind, they will find meaning in it.
Yeah.
People come up to me all the time, and they'll say, cosmic Empath. Very clever. I see what you've done there. And I just tap my nose like Santa.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about, but I will take credit for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my advice. If you don't know what you're talking about, just nod and take the credit.
Yeah, good.
I love that.
And deliver something in a warm northern accent.
Do you live together?
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
You do? How lovely. That sounds healthy. Whereabouts is that? In London?
In
Yes.
London.
Oh, how lovely. And who else do you share with?
Just us
Just
two.
Just you two?
Yeah.
Oh, the festering stench of successes with us. Not even in a house share. Whereabouts in London, if you don't mind disclosing?
In East London.
East London.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been trendy a decade ago.
I know.
They've all gone to Croydon now. They've all
Absolutely.
aged.
They're all
to
out.
Croydon. I think we all exist relative to Croydon in some way, don't we?
I have spent, I'm going to say, very little time in Croydon. And when I did go there, it was like when I was at university, and it wasn't that much of a hotspot. And as you say, now it's
the
very,
place
very
to
trendy.
be.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing about Croydon is it's got a lovely view of London. So you can go to Croydon and look at London.
Can you?
Yeah. If you're in London, you're looking at Croydon. Who's got the better deal? Croydon.
That's true.
And 10 years ago, Croydon used to be quite bustling.
Uh-huh.
Because I used to have relatives in Croydon.
Okay.
And I used to go visit them. Well, actually, Wallington, if we're naming names.
Near Croydon.
It's somewhere between Croydon and Sutton.
Okay.
Geographically, culturally, it's between these two.
Yeah.
And I used to go to Croydon. It was a bustling high street, just like everywhere else in the United Kingdom. And now it's just vape shops and Turkish barbers, like everywhere else, if not closed shop units.
Yeah.
So it's say a prayer for Croydon.
There is a lot of vape shops, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Have you ever
Yeah.
vaped?
No, I don't like it. Someone vaped in my audience the other day, and I thought we had another new pope.
Yeah.
This just a thing just went up because it smells like cotton candy or whatever. You're just so hyper aware that flavour has been in their ear, nose, and throat system,
Yeah.
and now it's in the air in yours. And it's too akin to sharing bodily fluid for my liking.
True. Yeah. When you walk through a cloud of vape smoke, you go like, that's been inside of their lungs,
Yeah.
and now it's in mine.
Yeah, although it is a little bit like going on Stars in Their Eyes, isn't it?
If
It
you,
is.
You know,
Yeah.
it is quite a dramatic entrance. So I do have conflicted feelings on it.
so,
Wow.
yeah, so that's what they must be doing at the Stars in Their Eyes.
If I
sliding
vape, that's
doors,
what I'd do.
Yeah.
I'd vape and then just walk forward.
and just
Yeah.
make an entrance.
Yeah.
Who could you perform as on Stars in Their Eyes? Do you have any?
Oh, what a good
impressions?
question. Who would I do on Stars in Their Eyes? Oh, God, a whole pantheon of pop music is passing by me eyes and I can't settle on anyone. I think probably Diana Ross.
Amazing.
I
Incredible.
think I would. Yeah, in the Supremes.
Yeah.
But like the Supremes, I'd just have two people behind me not doing much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could do that.
You could, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you've demonstrated it in this interview.
You've taken the lead.
Both
really
me and Jesus took the wheel today, didn't we?
Exactly.
But that's all right. I don't mind. It's my cross to bear.
Yes. And we could have come through the vape smoke behind you.
You could, yeah. If not Diana Ross, I think I'd surprise people, and I'd Buddy Holly or something like that.
Interesting.
I'd get a rolled up pair of socks, put them in my Y fronts, and I'd go on as Buddy Holly
Perfect.
I think that would be
with a
amazing.
guitar.
Yeah. What song?
I think Rise Like a Phoenix, because I don't know why he would have to do his own, because we do cover songs, don't we, artists?
Yeah.
So, I think I'd do Buddy Holly doing Rise Like a Phoenix with the other two spare Supremes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And in the knowledge that no one has ever done this performance before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They will do now, though.
Oh, well.
As soon as I leave the studio, now it will be the new TikTok trend.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Trendsetter.
How do you decide what you do on TikTok? How do you pick your content?
It's kind of half and half between letting things sort of crop up kind of organically, or where I'm listening to music and something might just like pop to me and I go, oh, that's
a
would
funny
happen.
idea.
Yeah. And I really sort of think, allow my spiritual side to be like, oh, the universe dropped that idea into my head.
Right.
Thank you for that. And then there is obviously the other half where you kind of go exploring for ideas, or you kind of do a lot of brainstorming and a lot of...
How much of it, though, would you say is chasing trends? Do you ever see anything on TikTok and think, I must do that?
Rarely.
If I hear the words... That was rude. That was really fucking rude. One more time. I will do something that will be beyond rude.
Yes.
I will do something that will get me on the news.
You want something rude? Here we are.
Oh, my word. It's so annoying, isn't it? And do you know what I think it is? I think it is that social media, I think it's blurred the lines of who does what job.
Yeah.
And so in comedy, there are certain... I know people talk about gatekeeping. I think sometimes gatekeeping is just quality control.
Yeah.
There's certain things you have to do. You have to go on a stage. You have to die lots. You have to get good. You have to put in the work. You have to write. You have to do hours. And then you get the microphone and the audience and things start working for you.
Yeah.
And on TikTok, there's all these people that will see content creators doing sketches and things and go, I'll do a bit of that. And interest, I don't, maybe this has happened to you. I'm directing this all at you. Do you do TikToks and things as well?
A little bit, yeah.
And I will direct it to the room. People see something that you create, and because of TikTok trends, they think it's just open season and they can recreate it. Has that happened to you?
It hasn't happened to... Oh, people have done...
Yeah.
People have, done stuff that have I won't say copied. People have been heavily inspired by things that we've done.
Right.
And you kind of go... That's very, very, very heavily inspired, which, it feels a little bit... I guess there's some things that are definite trends, and then there's some things that are people's,
People have just had an idea and done it.
People's ideas that isn't a trend, and then you see someone who might be like, "Oh, is this a trend?" And you go, "Not really."
Yeah,
that's like my script and what we've done, which is a bit of a shame.
Non-stick pans. Do you follow that person?
No,
I think it's called Pete.
Okay.
Anyway, he did the video of Gary Barlow. Gary Barlow going, this is my idea of a very nice time. Because he's holding his phone up like that. The non-stick pans did it like he was choking him.
Yes, yeah.
He did that video, and then loads of people started copying him. And then when he was like, don't do that, they were all like, it's just a trend, isn't it? It's like, no,
not really.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting... do you know what? It's a very hard time to be a creative person. Between that and AI...
AI is
very hard.
Very scary.
Oh, it's honestly, don't get me started.
No, we could talk.
But now I am.
Yes. No more AI.
No, well, it's just frustrating, isn't it? Because it dilutes. There's all the other arguments against it, that it plagiarizes, it steals, it reinforces harmful stereotypes because it's just pulling from what currently exists. It does no critical thinking. But also it just dilutes what people consume. Like there is a particular cartoon style that I keep seeing on the timeline, on the feed, that and people are just obviously typing jokes. And what I've seen happen is people are typing jokes in that they've seen on other cartoon strips from real artists and putting it into this AI generator and then creating their own version of it. And it's just the word dystopian is overused, but that's what it is.
Truly.
Yeah.
And people, I understand how AI would help certain people in certain jobs, or I'd understand sort of, but when there's so many adverts for like an AI secretary and an AI, this helps me do this and this helps me do this, and now I have loads more time to do everything else I've got to do, and in my head I'm like, your AI is doing everything now. You don't need all this time. Yeah, I feel like everyone's taking all these shortcuts and doing, let me AI this, now AI this, and then you've got. This has now freed up loads of time, but you don't have anything to do because AI's done it all.
This is a little bit of an overshare, but I don't mind. Bra straps out. So, as an example, now AI is a very broad umbrella term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if you want to, you could argue that a spell check is AI.
Yeah.
And they are useful things, but they're also a hindrance because I struggle with spelling, and I'll be typing something out and a spell check will come in, and very often what happens is it will go, you've spelt that wrong. I know what you mean, and put the wrong word in altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else has happened is that you start typing and you stop thinking about it. You're like, spell check will do it for me. And for this current show that I'm writing that's tours in the autumn, what I've been doing is I've been going analog. I'm writing with my hand and trendy hipster bugger that I am, a typewriter.
Oh.
And what has happened is that it has slowed down the writing process, which means that before I commit it to the page, I have to think about that word.
Yeah.
And my spelling has improved because I'm typing slower, thinking slower. And when I'm really stuck, I have to reference. I've got a physical dictionary at my desk at Myra Towers that I pick up and I'll run. And I'm like, what's that word? Is it? And have a look, and I'll look. And not only that, from another perspective, I just have to write. Whereas if you're on a computer, you'll be like, okay, the man in the blue hat went to the shop. Oh, is it to the or went down the shop? What's better if I... And you start editing straight away.
Yeah.
Whereas with a typewriter, or you've just got to do it. You've just got to bash it out
Yeah.
because it exists then. And then you go back and you look at it, and more of it is better than you think, that if you're stopping yourself all the time. And I think going wider, I have someone in my life who recently said to me, we were having this discussion, and they said, we don't want to name products, but they were like, well, I use Chat ABC to write an email because I had an email I had to write and I was struggling to maintain a professional tone. So I asked this email to Chat ABC to write an email saying what I wanted to say, but in a professional tone.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you have done is removed the process of critical thinking skills where you have to stop and think how to do that.
Yeah.
And this, we're going deep.
No.
Are you ready to go deep?
I'm ready.
Get the lube. We're going in.
Yeah.
Because we are at a time where critical thinking is a precious skill.
Very.
You need to be media literate. You need to be sensitive to tone. You need to understand subtext, what's being said, what's being implied, what's not being said, because of everything that's going off in the geopolitical situation. And
Yeah.
just to avoid any room for doubt, I am, of course, talking about the terrifying upswing of fascist ideology.
Yeah.
Come and see me on tour. It's a laugh. But we've got to be engaged and thinking.
Absolutely.
And the more people who are turning off their... And do you know what? I would rather read a poorly worded email from someone that's thought about it than something that is grammatically perfect from a robot that doesn't feel like there's any humanity in it at all.
Yeah.
I did this actually as a bit of a two-fingered salute to the trend. You know that trend was going around. Everyone was doing themselves as a little toy.
Yeah.
On the second day of that trend, I went, right, and I just grabbed a pen pad and a Sharpie, and I just drew, with a pen pad and a Sharpie, what my action figure would look like. And then in the top, I just put 100% AI free, guaranteed. And then just put that on Instagram, and immediately people started gravitating to it. Not because it was brilliant. It was a terrible drawing done on lined paper and a Sharpie on purpose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
made sure I just banged it out in a minute just to illustrate that something that has been created by a human will engage with your mind more than anything a computer can shit out.
Yeah.
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 I did not expect to be ranting about this kind of a thing.
No,
But it's
I mean,
good.
it's true.
It deserves being ranted about.
I think people are starting to use it on TikTok that I've seen, as like a therapist or as like, oh, I'm stuck on this lyric, writing a song, so I'm going to type something in. And I just think like one of the best parts of writing a song is that you might be stuck for 45 minutes. That's okay.
And we were talking before about when I said gatekeeping can be quality control. Like, you have to go through the process of being terrible. You have to write the bad songs.
Right.
You
Totally.
have to do the clumsy rhymes. You have to, because it's like working out. You don't head to the gym and pick up the heaviest weight on your first day. You've got to like develop, and we will all become poorer for it. And you're seeing all the time now in content as well. You'll open your phone and there's an AI-generated image with an AI-generated song performed by an AI-generated voice. And I think, what am I engaging with here?
Yeah.
This goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this interview, about 4 days ago, whenever it was. I don't know what culture waits for us out there, but it will be unfamiliar.
Piazza hopefully is still there.
The what? Sorry, the Piazza.
Piazza hopefully
Let's
is still
hope
there.
so. But this should just be a supplement for your life.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, we should be enjoying these things, and I think that might be a thought to finish on, because someone's just stood up and approached us.
Telling us to wrap up. How
Jess?
someone, the AI,
We're going to replace you with AI. Sit down.
and just to again touch on your, the really special moments are the in-person
Yeah.
meeting you, talking to you,
Talking,
to
chatting,
you, sharing those live shows with people next to you.
Creating performances that can only exist once.
Yeah.
That will never happen again. I mean, if you come up with a really good line, you might remember it for the next time you meet a bricklayer.
Yes.
But it's almost bespoke. It's a tailored experience, and I think we should have more of that, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I'm on one today.
I know. Well, you're all fired up, ready for the rest of your day.
I know, I've got another interview later. I can't remember who it's with, but goodness me, they're going to get both barrels.
Yeah, you're going
Really?
at 10 out
My
of 10.
opening words are going to be, and another thing.
To continue my AI
As
rant.
I was saying. What?
Yeah.
To who? When?
This has been enlightening. Thank you so much.
That was a very carefully selected word.
But I just...
Enjoyable.
Enjoyable. No, but
Nourishing.
it has been everything, but I think enlightening, especially in the last 10 minutes. I feel we've all can leave this interview with a sharpened view of what's important in this world.
I think it's a personal testament to myself that I managed to overstimulate you in these surroundings.
Thank you so much for being here, Myra. You're an
welcome.
absolute delight. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for being here.
No problem.
And we will see you next time.
Thank you, Chris, for being here as well.
You're welcome. I don't know if you should thank me.
There you are again,
Self-deprecating.
self-deprecation. Do you see how I've improved this person?
I am healed.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye.
Just before bed is good for your head. What you gonna do? Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.